Hello, my name is Daniel Roberts. I'm the project director of Silver Archiving here at the Liang Yi Museum, and today we're presenting this magnificent pair of filigree cassolettes, which were made in India in about 1770. The original design was popularized by silver manufacturer Matthew Boulton. His originals were made in a combination of ormolu and blue john, and the design we think, well, at least by tradition at least, was borrowed from one of his clients. He would have borrowed very eye-catching pieces from his clients to copy and to manufacture, and it's thought that the original cassolettes, now lost, were borrowed from the collection of Lady Mary Wortley Montagu, who, amongst other things, is known for bringing the smallpox vaccination to the UK. The filigree work in these is rather incredible because it is absolutely top of its game. We have a lot of masterpieces in the collection here, but these particularly are utterly magnificent. They're of a small size. They, in comparison to many of the other pieces in the collection, you may walk past them rather quickly, but because of the technique of the filigree work, it is unbelievable. Can you imagine being in the 1770s, far before electric thermometers, etc., trying to create something like this? If you don't know, filigree is made out of a vast array of welded together or soldered together pieces of silver wire. So you can imagine it's terribly thin, terribly tiny work, all before really, really good magnifying glasses, etc. And working with such tiny pieces of silver means that if you slightly overheat it, you will melt or burn the silver, rendering all of your work to that point completely useless. So although they look small, they are rather incredible. These pieces were produced probably in the Deccan in India, where the best filigree in the world at the time was being produced. And much of the filigree work produced by the artisans in the Deccan would have been more for local consumption, producing things like rosewater sprinklers or beetle boxes. And these are rather interesting because they are so very different, and they would have been made to be sold in the UK. And we certainly know of two other pairs in other collections that are almost exactly the same, and they must have come from the same workshop. So it's very possible that one of the British East India Company officials came out, had a number of them produced, and these are the remaining ones. Rather fascinatingly, filigree, as you can imagine, made of tiny pieces of wire soldered together, is actually terribly, terribly fragile. And so for these three sets, including this pair, to actually survive from the 1770s, a lot more of them must have been made for the market. So you might wonder where cassolettes might have been found in the houses that they were designed for. And of course, this is quite a diminutive pair. They would have been too small to use on a mantelpiece in a very grand room, but not so much for example, a lady's bedroom or a morning room. They have these magnificent reversible finials, so you can take the top off and reverse it, and you have a candle holder. Now, filigree work was, by nature, it has lots of little perforated holes in it itself. So if somebody actually used this for holding a candle, the candle wax would have been very, very difficult to remove. We've examined them quite thoroughly to see if there is any candle wax remaining in them, but we can't see any at all. However, the bodies of them also are perforated. So there's a receptacle in here, and that most likely would have been filled with potpourri to scent the rooms. Why was room scent so important to them? Because they thought at the time that bad smells caused disease. And so there's this miasma theory. The scent of your house meant was an indicator of how healthy it was to be there. So all of the rooms would have had potpourri. And if you're wondering what potpourri is, it's basically dried flowers and nuts and things that have been scented with perfume. And they would have been contained in there.